Apologize for the fact that Fedor isn't here. He had to go to the hospital. So I will answer any questions that you have.
Ну, мое мнение, конечно, жалко. Федор очень расстроился, что доктор остановил этот бой. И вы прекрасно видели, что первый раунд был за ним, второй раунд был за Сильвой. И все печально, конечно, закончилось, но я думаю, что Федор еще себя покажет.
I think that it's very unfortunate that the doctor stopped the fight after the second round. I think everyone saw that the first round was Fedor's and the second round was Silva's. And I think that the future will show us everything.
Если, конечно, Бог даст, он вернется в сетку Гран-при. Но если нет, я думаю, что он еще покажет свои бои в каких-нибудь супер поединках. Конечно, этот бой для него был тяжелый. Все-таки Антонио Сильва тяжелее его на 20-25 килограмм. И это все-таки чувствуется. Чувствовалось в этом поединке, что он очень тяжелый для хороший соперник.
With God's help, we will see Fedor back in the cage, either in the tournament or in fights in M1 Global and Strikeforce. I think tonight showed that it was a difficult fight for Fedor, that Silva was a big and heavy opponent, that he probably outweighed him by somewhere in the region of 60 pounds.
Спасибо, я думаю, что вопросы зададут.
Thank you very much, and please, if you have any questions.
Evgeny, could you use your former reporting skills to tell us if Fedor made any more comments backstage about retirement, or if he gave any thoughts about the fight to his team, any other details he gave you guys before he left for the hospital?
The atmosphere in the changing room was actually pretty quiet. There weren't any, basically there wasn't much said. He was tidying up, and then they went off to the hospital to make sure that the orbital bone isn't broken.
We'll never know what would have happened if the fight went to the third round. But questions for Vadim, and also for Scott. Do you think there should be a super heavyweight division? Because the weight differential was tremendous with Bigfoot and Fedor.
Ну, к сожалению, это не первый оппонент, который был намного тяжелее Федора. Наверное, все из 8 участников, все тяжелее его, практически там от 10 до 20 там, килограмм. Просто, ну, так получилось. И я думаю, что если бы не было такого рассечения, еще бы неизвестно, чем этот бой закончился, конечно.
It's unfortunate. And Silva was one of the other 7 people in the tournament who were bigger than Fedor, most by 20 plus pounds. But of course, had the fight not been stopped by the doctor, we don't know what would have happened in the third round.
Vadim, Fedor sounded fairly clear in his idea that he wasn't going to fight again. Both you and Scott expect he will or say he will. Why do you think that Fedor will fight instead of retire?
Ну, я думаю, что он просто расстроился, потому что он очень хорошо был настроен к бою. И просто был расстроен, потому что он его не проиграл, этот бой. Вы прекрасно видели, что первый раунд был за ним, второй раунд был за Сильвой. И третий раунд бы еще показал бы, может быть, если бы не было этого рассечения. Поэтому я думаю, что Федор вернется.
I think that Fedor was just really upset that he lost the fight because he was so, or that it finished the way it did because he was so prepared for the fight. And we, or Vadim, does not think that it was a clear-cut loss. That if it hadn't been stopped by the doctor, we don't know what would have happened in the third round. And because of that, Vadim thinks that we will see Fedor return.
Next question for Vadim. Do you think it was correct for the fight to have been stopped?
When you think of Fedor and his accomplishments, I mean, I think, by far, he's the greatest heavyweight and proven heavyweight amongst all the years that he's fought. I mean, he's started fighting 10 years ago, and it's always a special moment when he's in the cage or when he was in the ring. When I was in Japan working for K1, I watched him fight live many times, and it was always exciting, and he always brought it. And so I was always a fan of Fedor, and I, like Vadim, do not believe that his career is over. I think that he needs to go heal up, and he'll be back.
Vadim, again.
The decision is, of course, up to Fedor, but I think I know him quite well, and I think that he's still full of strength, and I think that he will continue. But the decision is, of course, up to him.
Fedor is the best in the world for me. I'm a big fan. He's have a big history. He's beat the best in the world long time, 10 years ago, but I'm trying too hard for this fight. 2 months, only eat, rest, and train. And I show for the world one more time, I come to no play. I come to fight hard. I want to be the best heavyweight in the world. Thank you.
So open up for some questions, please.
This is for Scott. In all of your time that you've spent in the combat sports, have you ever seen the reaction that the crowd gave you as a result when Fedor lost that fight? The entire crowd just silenced for minutes at a time, not just a couple of seconds. Have you ever seen that before in combat sports?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you have you know, the hometown favorite, I have seen that before, where it was you know, I think that when Frank Shamrock fought Kung Lee, it's a much different fight, but you know, when Frank broke his arm, and you know, the Frank Shamrock fans had a hard time believing the fight was over, and I think that when Gina and Cyborg fought, it was kind of the same feeling. But you know, you're in a community that's supporting Fedor, and you know, I thought Antonio Silva did a great job. He did what he had to do. I think the fight was, I mean, the first round I think went to Fedor. I think Antonio clearly dominated the second round, started doing some major damage on Fedor. When I saw his eye, it made me think about, you know, this guy should be going to the hospital because he might have an orbital fracture, just like Josh Koscheck when he fought GSP a couple months ago. So I thought he was damaged. I think his nose is broke, and you know, I'm glad the doctor stopped it, because at the end of the day, you know, there'll be another day for Fedor, and it's safety first, and I don't want anybody to get seriously injured in the cage. But Antonio proved, you know, when I met Antonio, he was fighting for Elite XC when they were still around, and he was dominating athletes, and I said, oh my God, this guy is not just like a big, you know, untalented heavyweight because of his size. I mean, some people said, well, you know, you saw what Fedor did to Hungman Choi. Well, you know what, this is a much different fight, because Antonio Silva is very athletic, and he's very skilled, and I think that's the difference between those two, the two big guys. And so I think that's what you saw tonight. The better man won, and you know, our job is to put the fights together for the fans to enjoy and for you guys to write about and report about. But at the end of the day, really, it's up to the fighters, and I think Antonio did what he had to do, and so congratulations, Antonio.
Thank you, boss.
Question for Bigfoot. As Chris said, the audience was in total silence. Everyone was in awe from the fight. You fought a great fight, Bigfoot. Did this go according to your game plan, or was it different than a game plan that you had?
Da forma que o Scott falou, no final da luta, a audiência estava em silêncio. Era assim que você estava vendo a luta? Era assim que você queria ganhar?
Sim, em algumas reportagens antes, eu disse que queria terminar essa luta na porrada, no ground and pound, e foi a minha estratégia de luta. E o Fedor já nocauteou muita gente. Eu levei 4 bons socos e vi que ele não ia conseguir me nocautear em pé. E no segundo round, coloquei ele para baixo e usei meu ground and pound.
Yes, you know, before the fight, you know, I was the big underdog, you know. During the fight, I took some big shots from Fedor, But then I knew that, you know, he wasn't going to knock me out. So I came back and did what I knew I had to do, was to ground and pound him, and, you know, I really needed to beat him in a decisive way.